Yeezy season is among us, and Donda, which is going to be Kanye West's 10th studio album, is coming out this Friday, July 23rd. And there's been so much information hitting the internet right now, and we're going to be covering everything from this album rollout, of course, the album review as well. So if you're new here, subscribe and let us know your expectations for this album, because this will probably be one of, if not the best album of the year.
What a time to be alive, guys. We are finally getting a Kanye West hip-hop album in quotations after 2 years. So the last time we got a hip-hop album from Kanye West was in 2018 with Ye. Took a break from that whole aesthetic, went to Jesus is King in 2019 with the gospel sound, and now he is back and better than ever. And there was a listening party tonight at the time of this recording, and apparently there is a lot of cool shit that is coming out. So there's just so many updates, guys, and we're going to be taking you through this whole rollout, as Lou said, and legit, we're not sleeping through this. It's Yeezy season. We have to be covering everything that's coming out, all the way from the updates to the album reviews. Fuck it, we'll even cover commercials if we have to, because this is a very exciting time for Kanye fans. So listen, now that you've heard some snippets, now that you have some information, what are your expectations and what can we expect?
I think we're getting a modern day masterpiece.
Very strong words.
The confidence that Kanye has had with this rollout, doing it all in the span of a week, that speaks volumes to me. And not only that, but we have confirmation of the release date being July 23rd, because Kanye is actually doing a second listening party in Atlanta on July 22nd at night at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And that's going to be him playing the album before it drops at midnight for everybody. And we also have confirmation from Justin LeBoy, who was with Kevin Durant and Kanye listening to the album. And his tweet reads, "Kanye West album is really done. When it drops this week, we probably not going to listen to anything else for a while. Let me go enjoy all the current artists I'm listening to. Until then, God bless, #respectfully."
Absolutely.
What do you think of that, man?
Man, that sounds vicious. That sounds very confident. And listen, from the snippets that I've heard already from the listening party, I am very impressed, because we do have some confirmed features on this album already. So let me read through them. We have Travis Scott, we have Westside Gunn, we have Pusha T, we have Baby Keem, Playboi Carti, Lil Baby, Post Malone, Ty Dolla $ign, Tyler the Creator, and more. So,
and are you even surprised, man? I mean, at this point, Kanye always assembles these Avenger-like casts of just the biggest names in hip-hop right now.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm not surprised at all, because I think, as I said in the previous video, because we had released and everything we know about the album so far before we learned about all this new information, I think he's had a rough past couple of years, and he is going to be coming back with a vengeance. He's going to be coming back with some of his strongest material. We've already heard some of the stuff, on the snippets, and it's sounding extremely personal. It sounds like we're getting an introspective Kanye. So, what type of, material do you want, and what type of sound do you want as a Kanye fan?
I want to know what Kanye's, mindset has been these last few years. He's gone through so much, from the presidential run to his divorce. I just want to hear, what Kanye's views are right now on his public perception, because, of course, him wearing the masks, I think, will play into the theme of the album. Not only that, but I want to hear also how he's grieved over the years over the loss of his mother, Donda, who apparently has vocal snippets all over the track list. And apparently her vocals separate this album track list into 3 different parts. So that's going to play big into the narrative. And I feel like Kanye will be talking about his legacy, his family, and just getting super introspective on tracks like we would have heard in the past, like Family Business or on like Violent Crimes. I want Kanye to really give us insight on, just what he's been thinking, what he's been feeling over the last years.
Absolutely. And apparently we could actually expect some single previews on new Nike commercials out of all brands to be collaborating.
Yeah, a bit crazy, right?
Nike fucking commercials. And apparently it is going to be debuting, on Tuesday at the NBA Finals, Bucks versus Suns. I don't know. Apparently it's a commercial, and the game's starting at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll have to see if that actually happens. But apparently a source close to Kanye said that there's going to be 2 commercials, and they'll be debuting, and we're going to be hearing some new music. So how do you think he's going to be rolling out singles? Do you think he's even going to try it out, or if you had to predict it?
I don't think he's going to be rolling out any singles. I think that he's going to be captivating all of us on instantaneous hype. And that's what Kanye is great at, because he's had the entire world buzzing over this album without saying a single word. He has not said anything himself. It's just from the listening parties, from the news that's surfacing. And I find that genius, that Kanye's at that position where people know that every time that he drops, it will be one of the biggest creative expressions that we have all year, if not maybe of the entire decade. So my question to you is, based on all these features, based on the fact that we have apparently 13 songs, what direction do you think Kanye is going in sonically, and what kind of sounds do you think we can expect?
Well, the one thing that you could expect with Kanye West is innovation, but I think he's going to do it a bit differently now. I think, as we had mentioned in the previous video, there was a lot of talks about him bringing back soul samples and bringing that back into the track list, but also innovating with a new twist. So that's what I'm down to hear, is like him going back to maybe a college dropout, late registration sort of aesthetic where, you have like the chipmunk vocals and like, you have a lot of different stuff, and then maybe giving it more of like a modern twist. I also maybe want to hear some Mike Dean on this project. Not only that, but as I said, that introspection from Kanye is key for me here. And now that we know that maybe there's going to be 3 acts to it, there's going to be some sort of thematic basis to the album and to the track list, I am super hyped for that, because that's something that I've never really seen in Kanye's writing or maybe his material, is that sort of theme and that sort of build up through a story from, the first track all the way going to the end. So, are you excited for that? And how do you think it's going to change the overall listen of the next album coming out?
Yeah, I feel like, this album is going to be probably, his most dense album lyrically, probably since the life of Pablo. And speaking of the life of Pablo, I think that this album will be reminiscent of that, in the sense that I think Kanye is going to grab different elements sonically from his previous album. So I think that we're going to get industrial sounds, very electronic types of synths, on that we would have heard on Yeezus, for example. I think we're also going to get that soul sample based stuff like we were saying earlier. I feel like it's going to be a blend of everything, but at the same time, he's going to innovate. He's going to add certain instruments and certain elements to the production that will be revolutionary. And I think that this album has the potential to shift the culture and to be influential for years to come. So I'm really predicting Kanye going all the way with this one, and possibly dropping his best body of work since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'll take it that far.
Wow, that's a bold claim. Let's see if it happens. And apparently there's a 5-minute long outro to the album, so that's very fucking interesting. I want to see how he closes off this album as well. We also have Hurricane featuring Lil Baby, Praise God featuring Travis Scott.
Hurricane, by the way, is one of my favorite Kanye leaks of all time.
Yeah,
that was on so many track lists, and there was one version with Joey Badass, which was fantastic. But hearing Lil Baby, being on Drake's album and J. Cole's album and now Kanye's, that's huge news, and I'm sure he killed the feature.
Absolutely. We also have, as I said, Praise God featuring Travis Scott and Playboi Carti, and the only thing we do know is obviously that 5-minute long outro, and then obviously you have other songs that have surfaced, but there's nothing really concrete yet. So let's take it into the new week. Let's see what we have coming in, guys, because we're going to be, of course, keeping you guys updated with everything that surfaces, some new snippets, the commercials that are supposed to happen on Tuesday night, maybe a new single, who knows, and maybe even a confirmation date from the man himself, Kanye West. So listen, guys, thank you for sticking through this whole video. It's been a pleasure, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching the video. It's always a pleasure doing content for you guys. Listen, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because we're doing album reviews, and we actually have our series called Everything We Know, where we take you guys through the whole album rollout of the hottest releases of the year. Not only that, guys, but our Patreon plan is now live. You guys can access that in the bio. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.